Hey beauties, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review on the new Sephora Pro palette. I'm super excited about this. I had my eye on this palette forever now. Ever since Trend Mood posted a picture of this palette, I was like, I need to get my hands on that. This palette is right up my alley with all the warm tones and everything. I just fell in love with it. So I'm going to just jump straight into the review. So there are 3 different palettes of the Sephora Pro palette. There is a warm tone one, which is the one I got. There is a cool tone one, and then an editorial one. I'm not sure if it's called the editorial one, but it's more of those really bright and neon colors. And then obviously the cool tone palette is more on the cooler side, and the warm palette is more on the warmer side. I definitely wanted to pick up the warmer palettes because those are the colors I tend to go to. I love my warm and neutral colors. I don't tend to wear a lot of cool tone colors or really bright pops of color unless I'm doing a specific look. But I knew that picking up the warm tone palette would be the best fit for me because I do love those colors. But definitely go check out the other 2 palettes to see if you really like those 2 because they are absolutely gorgeous as well. So this is what the front of the palette looks like. It just has a matte black cover and then those like duochrome kind of lettering that just says Sephora Pro on it. And then once you open it, it's kind of hard to open with my nails. Then once you open it, this is what the palette looks like. Ooh. So it has a little sheet here that tells you all the names of the eyeshadows. I personally wish that it would say the names on the actual palette itself, that way I know what shadows that I'm using, but that's no big deal. I'll just keep this in the palette with the eyeshadows with the palette just so I know what shadows I'm using, because it doesn't say it on the back either, so it would be a little hard if I lost this to know what shades I'm using, but no big deal either. I know that it's kind of hard to put that, especially when you have a bunch of eyeshadows in one palette. As you can tell, the mirror on the palette is humongous. I absolutely love that. It's really big and it's absolutely perfect for when you're traveling, because I feel like this palette kind of has a whole bunch of colors in it that you can use for multiple different eye looks, and the mirror is absolutely perfect for that. So this palette does retail for $68, which I know is a very high price, especially for Sephora collection, which tends to be more on the more affordable side. But there are 28 eyeshadows in this palette and you're paying a little over $2 for each eyeshadow, which I personally think is not that bad at all, especially considering the fact that these eyeshadows are absolutely amazing. They're very pigmented and they're super easy to blend. I will be honest with you guys, I didn't think this eyeshadow palette was going to be all that great, because I know, at least for my personal take, the Sephora collection eyeshadows aren't my favorite. So I kind of felt that it was going to be the same formula as their single little eyeshadows that they have. But I can tell you right now that this formulation is completely different than the other single eyeshadows that they do have. This eyeshadow formulation is so much better. I absolutely love this. A lot of people were saying that it kind of looks like the Natasha Denona palette, which I will 100% agree on. I think it looks exactly almost identical as the palette, but I'm pretty sure that this eyeshadow palette has a little bit more eyeshadows than the Natasha Denona palette. I personally don't have that palette because I'm not going to pay that much money for an eyeshadow palette. That is way too much. So if you didn't get the Natasha Denona palette, I would definitely try and get this palette, because 1, it's cheaper, and I feel like you get a lot more palettes, a lot more eyeshadows than that palette. So yeah, that is my overall review on this palette. You guys know I'm always 100% honest with you guys, and I really do feel like this palette is definitely worth the price. The palette is just so amazing. I love it so much. I kind of wish I got the other palettes too, that way I can review them as well, but for now, this palette is definitely worth it. So I'm just going to stop talking right now. I'm just going to jump right into the demo. So this is what the palette looks like. I really love the packaging. It looks really nice and chic. And then this is the palette. It's really big. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller, but it's actually pretty big. And also in the palette comes this little pamphlet, which gives you like a whole bunch of different eye looks that you can create, and which Sephora brushes you can use and which eyeshadows to use. Those are really cute. Alright guys, so that is the complete video. I hope you enjoyed the little review and tutorial as well. Again, I definitely think that this palette is worth it. If you didn't get your hands on it, definitely go to your local Sephora or even order it online if you can and pick this palette up. It's so amazing. Like, I love it so much. I really love this palette. It's so good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!